offense in baseball. They are number one in runs per game, number one in weighted runs created plus, tied with the Dodgers. What else? Number one in overall pitching. Number one in starting pitching, number three in relief pitching, but number one in the National League. Their base running, all right, that's not great. It's just below league average, 22nd in the league. Defense plus 10, 11th. It's very good. It's not quite elite. But hitting and pitching, number one team in baseball. Not only that, this is not some fluke. This is a club sixth in baseball in payroll, about 80 million below the Dodgers, who are at number two. Close enough, though, to match the Dodgers in horsepower. This is a club with stars and a deep bench. They were knocked out in the first month last year, got dropped. We lost sight of them for a while, but they come off a good offseason. They promoted Walt Weiss to manager, completely competent, and they've taken off. The cream is rising. And take a look at who they have and what they're actually doing. This is why I say, look, the Dodgers are stacked, right? But look at these guys. This is their lineup from the other night. Drake Baldwin leading off, a 151 OPS plus. Are we using weighted runs created plus or OPS plus? There, weighted runs created plus. Just want to be accurate. They're about the same thing. Ozzie Albies is back. Michael Harris is back, right? They've both been gone for a little while. Matt Olson there with a 174. That's MVP level. Acuna is hurt right now. Hasn't even kicked it in yet. Mauricio Dubon, baseball-y player, can play all over the field, a great addition. Austin Riley's at an 87. He's been down 2 years. He's picked it up in May, though. It's Austin Riley. He'll be back. Star-studded ball club all around. Ha-Sung Kim, that doesn't count. He just got back. He's just off the injured list. This is a club that expects to get back Spencer Schwellenbach, and they're likely to get even better. So I think the Dodgers are stacked, but I'm not as sold that they're the best team in baseball. If I'm looking at it logically, these guys are the best club in baseball. Let us know what you think. We're on X at MLB Now. Who would win in a 7-game series? I'm going to boil it down to that because that's what's going to be in the NLCS. John Heyman, you know it. I know it. Braves or Dodgers?
We'll see.
Just trying to gauge it. No, you know what's happening.
They're the best right now.
Xavier Scruggs is here as well. Whoa, how many shows you doing today, pal? A few more?
27.
Good. We worked together last night. We had good, clean fun. That was good. All right, where are you on this exactly?
I mean, the Braves have clearly been the best team. Their pitching has been the best. Their hitting has been the best. But I think the Dodgers are just doing what they always do, which is kind of toy with everybody until it comes to October, and eventually they're the favorite, and there's a reason they're the favorite. You look at their stats right now, all of their star offensive players are at least 10% below their norm in terms of OPS.
Okay. Yeah.
That is, they're not getting old. I think these guys are still in their prime. You could make a case maybe Betts a little bit. I think Freeman's still in his prime. Ohtani clearly is. Will Smith clearly is. Muncy clearly is. To me, this is still the best team.
Yeah.
And, we've played 44 games, and to this point, nobody has played as well as the Braves. But the Dodgers are still the best. I'm not knocking them off that pedestal.
I'm showing respect, I think, because you know how you liked my shtick last year. I always said the Dodgers are a tad disappointing. They're not disappointing. They're a tad disappointing, and they were fine. I'm not even. There's nothing wrong with the Dodgers. No. I'm saying the Braves, the horsepower, the star power, everybody's back, everything's clicking. They're a smart front office. They have a competent, good manager now, and Walt Weiss again. Snicker was excellent, but Weiss is exactly the guy. I just see it all clicking with Atlanta.
I think you look at the Braves, and if there's a team that looks like they can match up, and you mentioned the word kind of matching up from horsepower standpoint, the Braves could do it right now as we speak. Now, they've got to continue doing that, but I look at the Dodgers and I'm like, they play without the pressure of feeling like they got to win right now. They know that they can almost pull guys back. Look at the prime example of Ohtani right now. I give him a couple of days rest. I put Will Smith in the leadoff spot yesterday. Boom, home run. Other teams that just can't do that. Take out their best player. Think about the Yankees. They can't just afford to take Judge out of the lineup for 2 days to give him a rest offensively. No. Right. So to me, it's just this idea of continuing to play for later on in the season. Yeah. They're getting healthier from a pitching standpoint. Blake Snell's back in this rotation. To me, it's dominance, and we've already seen them do it twice in a row.
Look, I think the Dodgers are the gold standard. There's no question in every facet of the game. But I think if you're the Dodgers, you're like, okay, good. The Mets, no. Philly's struggling. Cubs, we can handle the Cubs. If you're the Dodgers, you're looking at the Braves going, okay, there's something to worry about there.
Yeah, I would agree. They're the biggest threat, and obviously their pitching is really good. Elder's been fantastic. Sale is one of the best pitchers in baseball, certainly going to the Hall of Fame. Their bullpen has been incredible, not just Iglesias on the back end, but the two setup guys as well. So, I mean, they're clearly the biggest threat, even above the Cubs. I will say this, overall National League is improved. The National League is tougher right now than the American League.
Yeah. I just like even having Dubon, having Ha-Seong Kim come back, and now Dubon floats around. They're just deep. Their bench is good. Everything's there. All right, let's go to the American League now. The White Sox won again, swept the Royals. They've won 5 in a row. They've won 11 of 15, 16 of 24. They're in wild card position right now. And they're, you know what, you can look at them and you say, hey, they're kind of exciting. They're no joke anymore. They're good. Actually a good club. We're going to jump into this now. I want to see, you can see Colson Montgomery. Murakami's killing it. He's got 147 weighted runs created plus. But you see there, Davis Martin, 1.62 ERA. I want to bring him up because we got to speak to him yesterday, you and me with Alex Avila. This kid was a revelation. Not a kid, he's 29.
Right.
So he's been around a few years. He's taken that next step. How did he do it? Here's an idea.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think there's less tinkering. This part of my career, I feel like I had an arsenal that I could go into an offseason and really, hone in. There was no new pitch to throw. There was no mechanical changes to have, and you're able just to really refine. We had a great facility out in Oklahoma City at Pitching Works, and Alex Marty and Lane Ramsey did a great job just kind of tinkering everything and make sure everything was sharp coming into the year.
Did you hear within that answer? And that's why I wanted to bring it back for MLB Now. He went to a pitching lab. Like, there's pitching labs around. Also, the White Sox pitching group is more sophisticated now. So you can maximize your performance now more than ever in the history of baseball. And there's an example. He's coming in with a 1.62, X.
That's the thing, is the technology nowadays. Guys can take advantage of that. And we've seen that with this rotation so far. And I would go as far to say the board that you first showed the offense and those guys that are much better than league average right now. I don't think we counted for what they could do offensively coming into this season. And because of that, I think you get better run support for your pitchers. Starters are able to go deeper into the game. Kay just yesterday went 6 innings as well against the Royals. So that offense has given the pitching staff an opportunity to not feel like it's beat down or it's got a lot of pressure on it. And now they expect to win, guys.
I bring this up a lot, but we do baseball plays every day. We used to, 2 years ago, we had the White Sox were in the unbaseball-y category. We're like, look at this fly ball drops. Look at this missed cutoff. Look at this slop. And about midway through last year, that stopped. They stopped showing up on unbaseball-y plays.
Well, 2 years ago, they won 41 games. They're on pace to double that, to win 83 games. That is quite a bit of improvement. I think Colson Montgomery, I'm speaking of, is a star at this point. He's got more home runs than any other shortstop, which is saying a lot, more than L.A. De La Cruz, more than the guy in the Nats, who's outstanding. A lot of good shortstops right now. I think the signing of Murakami was the best signing this offseason. 2 for $34 million. A lot of people were saying, well, he's got a lot of swing and miss. He can't hit the breaking ball. He can't play third base. Well, they solved that by putting him at first base, where he is fine. And, you get enough fastballs in Major League Baseball. You get a fastball, he's going to hit it. And right now he's second to Judge in home runs in the American League. So they've done a lot of good stuff. And to be 16-8 over the last 24. That's pretty impressive. To be in playoff position, you're the White Sox, pretty good. I know there was a national entity, I won't mention it because my predictions aren't so great either, that saw them losing 100 games again this year. Wow. That ain't going to happen.
No. Murakami, that strikeout rate is exceptionally high. Does that catch up, or is that just part of his game? And we're looking at a like this guy's playing American baseball. I did an essay on him a few weeks back. This guy's like, hey, you Americans like strikeouts and home runs? Here I am, right? So, but can this exist?
I think it can, and the reason why is because don't forget he's still making adjustments to the American style of play too. Like, this is someone that's come over from Japan. And he's still got to study every single pitcher. He's got to learn the relievers. There's going to be swing and miss naturally in his game, but maybe even more so early on, he'll start making adjustments towards the pitchers he's facing more and more often. And I think ultimately what he's brought to this team is almost an identity in a sense, because you can see how everybody else is getting on base in front of him, guys around him still swinging the bat well. And it doesn't have to be just one guy, right? I think a lot of times we think everything evolves around one person. For this Chicago White Sox team, they would struggle if it was just evolving around Murakami. It's everybody has contributed. Even Randall Grichuk, who's come over from this team from the Yankees, last night, a big game, 3 for 4, 4 RBIs. Guys are contributing in different ways, and they're a dynamic offense.
His strikeout rate was 34%, man.
Yeah.
That's high. There are very few guys.
But he's taking his walks.
Yeah.
So at least I like that he's getting himself on base, and hopefully that strikeout rate is able to come down because of his ability to discern what's a ball and a strike.
A nice walk rate is 10%. He's at 19%. So he's walking a ton. I love that the White Sox I love a club that is a laughing stock, and then just quietly and slowly through smart decisions, and on-field, paying attention, they get better in their confidence.
I mean, this is great for Chicago. This is the first time, not counting 2020, that two teams with winning records will start a series since 2008. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think you got to give Will Venable a lot of credit, too, because when your team is counted down and out, and you mentioned people thought they might still lose 100 games, his ability to make sure everybody is still focused on winning on every aspect of the ball has been special.
Now, when we come back, again, we have Adam Ottavino on the program, but come on MLB Now. We used to have a feature, Quality Take of the Day, when that was the thing, where he was the video intro. A 7-time on-base champ, 2010 National League MVP, now retired, few years from the Hall of Fame ballot. We welcome in Joey Votto. Joey, it's Brian Kenny. Great to have you here on the program.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here, Joey. Look, how are you? How was your retirement? How's life? How are things going?
It's been good. Lots of travel and some time away from the game, but it's drawn me back in. So I'm glad to be on the show today.
Yeah, this is terrific. I know you have a specific interest in the elite hitters, top of the food chain guys. So if we focus on one, give me your view just generally on Shohei Ohtani, knowing what your game prep is like as a hitter, and he's doing pitch. Now he's full-time all this year, pitching and hitting. What's your view of Ohtani?
Well, I think Aaron Judge is the best hitter in the game, but I'm left-handed. Shohei's a close second, and for me, he's the most intriguing hitter in the game because of the responsibilities he has, because he's so dominant against left-handed pitching, and because he's just rare is the player that evolves right in front of your eyes. And we've been able to see him grow from an intriguing, a multi-talented star to literally Mount Rushmore caliber player. I have him right now trending towards, his face being next to Ruth, next to Willie, and next to Hank Aaron on our baseball's Mount Rushmore. And this is not to disrespect anybody in the history of the game, but he's fabulous. And we're so fortunate to get to watch him on a daily basis.
It is amazing. Right now, he's hitting .240. He's got a .370 on base. Not embarrassing, but it's not his standards. Slugging .427, so it could be worse. What do you see with Ohtani right now? With his hitting, again, he's had a few days that he just hasn't looked good. He's had 2 days off from the plate. What are you seeing, Joey?
Well, the first thing that stands out to me is he does have that on-base percentage going. And, it's watching him go 50-50. That very same day, he had one of the greatest single games in baseball history where he went 6 for 6 and had some bags and obviously the homers. He's one game away from all of a sudden, passing the 500, 550 slug and entering into the 950, 1,000 OPS territory. And then what is there to worry about with him? If he wasn't walking, if he didn't have that plus on base percentage above his batting average, then I would be more concerned. But there's something going on, in my opinion. Watching his at-bats, I see something, and I know for a fact he's light years ahead of everybody that's commented on what he's doing at the plate. But, to me, it's as simple as the up and away pitch, the middle up pitch, and the away pitch. Those are the pitches that you want deeper in the zone, and you have to be able to back the ball up in your swing. And in past years, and certainly last September, he showed that is a strength of his when he's at his very best. And in 2026, maybe it's a slight adjustment, maybe it's early, maybe it's small sample size, maybe it's the new responsibility of being the very best pitcher or the 1B best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. but he just is just ever so slightly off. And, looking at his bat speed data, he's, I think, maybe a mile per hour off. So is Aaron Judge with an 1,100 or 1,000 plus OPS. So there's absolutely nothing going on other than a slight targeting issue. And I think that he's just been a bit too close to him in terms of his targeting. And once he starts dominating and owning that up pitch and that up and away pitch, all of a sudden the ball gets deeper in the zone. You have no choice but to back the ball up in the zone to be able to hit the ball out to center, out to left center field. And it's going to be fun. I think we're about to watch a guy who he has a 3-win month. I think in the last couple of years, I think we might have a guy who puts together a couple of those in 2026 and puts together one of the all-time great seasons. It's going to be a blast to watch from May 15th till the end of the year.
But yeah, a lot of specific stuff in there, Joey. But just so for people to know, that blue is cold, right? The red is hot, blue is cold, and in that corner, blue is cold. There's a lot in there. People have rack it back, DVR it, rack it back, and listen again. Hey, Joey, you actually checked out his batting practice, his BP. What did you see when you saw a show? What do you see in the guy's BP?
Right. So I was privy enough to watch his batting practice from the most recent rare outside batting practice he took. But you can see a couple balls he pulled where you can see the reaction, where he wasn't able to let the ball get that ever so slight, that tick deeper to be able to drive it to center field, and he likes that one. And the good hitters want to see straight lines, even if it's pulled. There's nothing wrong with pulling the ball, but those is to center field right there. The straight lines off their bat, because then they know that it's just a feel thing. I can't even articulate this. I'm not a hitting coach, but I can tell you we want to feel straight lines even on the pull side, and we don't want to see top spun balls or curled balls, because we're just not as square to the ball. And the feeling of flushing a ball through the center of the field, through left center field, and right center field, makes you feel as if you're more balanced at contact. It makes you feel like more of the center of the bat is making contact with more of the center of the ball. And we want that control. And right now I see a hitter that's just slightly off. And, these fly balls, those fading fly balls to left field, those homers to left field, those long home runs to center field are the next step. It's inevitable. It's not possible for him to fail.
Okay. You articulated it well. I get that. We're soaking it all in. You brought this up, and I'm with you on this. Year by year, I think we've forgotten that Ohtani, when he reached his career high in innings, right, there's only so much he can do. He had 166 innings. You look at his numbers. Back 2022, his OPS plus was 144, which is good, right? But then he becomes the best hitter in the league, 185, 187, 181 in the OPS plus. That year, by the way, he had a 356 on base, slug 519. It's still remarkable, but it seems kind of human. So I think the question is the pitching emphasis? He seems to want to go for the pitching this year. He's been a 0.82 ERA. Is the pitching emphasis draining the offense?
No, it's the his easiest skill is his power. And, he's got the on base. He's got the fantastic performance as a pitcher. He may have taken it, may have geared down on the base running. But the thing that's going to come most natural to him is the power. It's just not possible for him to fail. And for him to have such a high on base percentage and to be so successful right now is, to me, a fantastic sign. And he could hit 260, 270 and still have a 600 slug, have a 400 base, be in that 180, 190 range. And then we're talking about the unicorn of unicorns. So he's got some issues against right-handers right now. But that, to me, is a reflection of, and when I say issues, I mean his lower ISO, his lower slug against right-handers. He's still the exact same against left-handed pitching, actually slightly better than career norms. For me, the right-handed pitching is just that extra tick deeper in the zone, that ball up and away, and the ball away, which is a representation of, in my opinion, as a hitter, the blind spot zone, where you're letting the ball get deeper. You can't really see what's going on, but you trust that the bat's going to get their balls to left center, balls to center field for extra bases.
Okay. That's beyond my expertise. You the whole feel thing. You can see things in the matrix. I want to ask you about this, though. This I understand, and this I used to study with, studying your game. The plate discipline. How often do you chase? How often do you swing when it's in the zone? In other words, controlling the strike zone, understanding what's a strike. Now, previous 2 years, his chase rate is 26%. This year, it's 30%. Z-swing is how often are you swinging at pitches that are in the strike zone? He's at 68% the previous 2. Now he's at 60. It drops down. Meatball swing is like middle. He's swinging at 77, and now this year it's 69. So what is this telling you, Joe? I mean, it almost looks obvious to me, or am I getting like chicken and the egg mixed up here?
Just to me, the ball that's close to him, he still is attacking. He's still confident and comfortable. But sometimes visually as hitters, when we feel more confident and comfortable with the ball closer to us, the ball away, the ball with height, has a tendency to look farther away, has a tendency to look higher. And those can make you feel like that strike pitch away, that strike ball up, I can't comfortably get my good swing off. That ball that's close to me, I can get my good swing off. And that becomes this sort of feedback loop into itself where ball closer, more comfortable, ball away, less comfortable. And then we start shaping our swing. And I'm not going to guarantee, but my best guess is once he starts handling that ball up and away, and starts backing the ball up, you're going to see his bat speed uptick, I think, that maybe 1.5 per hour average down this year. I could see it once he starts flattening out and getting length to his swing, the speed, everything will speed up. You'll see the numbers return to norm. But the easiest thing for him to do is to slug, to ISO, to hit homers. And this to me solves everything as far as his WRC plus and lower slug.
Oh, this is good. Joe, I always say I like doing a show that's nutrient dense, right? This ain't the cotton candy, John Heyman. This is the meat and potatoes in here. That was nutrient dense. Again, we'll rack it back. We'll watch it. Joe, I enjoyed it. We'll love to do it again, and we'll see you again soon. Great stuff, and it's great seeing you once again.
CBK, thanks.
Thank you. Joey Votto there. So called that beat last night. And it's funny. I took your side over Alex Avila on a number of issues. But where we disagree, we really disagree. I mean, we're way out there. I'm sorry, rivalry weekend, does it still resonate? You start.
I don't think it does at this point. Not this point in the season, but also, like, it doesn't for a player give you that same oomph. And you look at some of these matchups, right? Like the Ohio Cup, that's not going to mean a whole lot. The Vetter Cup is something that I resonate with San Diego because I grew up there, and the first team they played was the Mariners Interleague. But there's no, animosity against one another. A lot of those matchups, there's not that animosity, real rivalry.
How about within the city? Like New York, yes. Yeah. I can't speak to Chicago, but it's kind of cool now because the Cubs are good. Right. And now the White Sox are feisty and rising up. So maybe it's a matter of, if you have two clubs in a city.
Right. But I look at I'm thinking from a player, right? Like the Cubs just got off playing against the Braves. That's going to be harder, tougher animosity, more to play for than really against the White Sox. So as much as I like that, right, and players like it too, but it's going to be more, every game is almost the same at this point, right. Especially early in the season.
Speaking of the Mets, I'm not a huge fan of the prefabricated home run shtick. Like they feel obligated. But this guy, I didn't even see this coming, but I was like, spare me. With the hard hat, Soto hits a home run. Good for him. But the hard hat and the vest, they're also aping the Pirates, what they did with the hard hats. Look at us, we're gritty, we're blue collar. He makes $51 million a year. No hard hat for you. And then you wear a hard hat on your yacht, Juan? Come on, man.
This is where I got mad at you last night because think about how hard he's worked to get to that $50 million, right? Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like everybody is grinding in the minor league. He came from the Dominican. So all of a sudden, because he's made the money, he don't deserve to put on a construction hat and have fun with the boys in the clubhouse in the locker room.
I think the hard hat thing wore off by the time he was 20 with the Nationals.
I don't think he's still the hardest worker on that team. He's still the best player on that team.
Maybe. Maybe the hardest worker on the team. Did you see him last year? The first 2 months of the season. I'm going crazy on that.
Does he not put out the production every year though?
If there's
one person that deserves to wear that hat, it's going to be Juan Soto to me.
He's the highest paid player in the history of baseball, and he's wearing a hard hat like a working
My man worked to get to that.
He's elevated beyond. I'm just saying, come on.
He worked to get to that.
No question. And he works hard at the plate. I'll give you that. Works very hard at the plate.
He's going to be wearing that thing more than everybody else, too. So get used to it.
Not the kids making the minimum right now who are actually winning games. I don't want to beat up Juan Soto. Like, you're making the most money. God bless, right? We all wish we were.
You can't have fun with this squad.
You can have. How about having fun in other ways? There's other ways to have fun than, oh, look, I'm putting this on, and I'm posing for the photo.
But you acting like his idea. Who says his idea?
Oh, I don't think it is.
What if it's not, and he's like, okay, I want to be a part of the team.
Right, that's it.
I may not call my boys when they're on the road, but I want to be a part of the team.
Right, I can see. What do you want from me? Do you want me to do this? I'll do anything you want. All right, speaking of the Mets, so after Soto gets asked, like, hey, during the 12-game losing streak, did you text any of your boys? Did you call any of the guys, try to keep their spirits up? And he goes, nah, I didn't contact anybody.
I'm good.
I have no idea. I'm good. I have no idea. Now, what is the IL etiquette? Because right after that, I think Francisco Lindor going to a Knicks game, the very moment his team is playing in snowy Denver, and there he is with John Franco, John Franco is cover. Hey, look, I'm with John Franco. Come on, Mets legend. But no, not while they're playing. I think he should have had better awareness. He was also the highest paid player on that team before Soto came along. I think there's a different responsibility. It's a bad look.
I'm starting to think you don't want these players to have fun at all.
You can have fun at home, do something. But so you're telling me while you're playing in Denver, if you're a Met, and you look back and you go, oh, look at Francisco. Oh, I hope he enjoyed the Knicks game. That's okay with you.
How's he going to perform or produce when he's on the IL?
No, he can't. No, he can't.
So I'm just thinking the team is 3 hours, 5 hours flying on the road.
Yeah.
There's no way for him to. Would you rather see him running up sprints on the court with John Franco? Like, what do you want him to do in that situation?
Lay low is what I'm saying.
You're right. It is not a great look, but at the same time, he is supporting the city. Like, check off supporting the city. I'm with John Franco, former player. Maybe there's some points there. At least he's not at a game that doesn't matter, has nothing to do with the city. Like, I'd rather see him doing that than doing something like if he's out to dinner smiling with somebody and we see him enjoying
see, I know, like Alex Avila brought that up, that one of his famous teammates, I won't mention which Detroit Tiger pitcher it was out to dinner while he was on the IL, and it was like, oh, you're having a good time while you're on the IL and your team is losing? And it's like, that's unfair. You can go to dinner, but don't go to a high-profile Knicks playoff game the very moment while your team is scrapping. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's not. Well, I'd expect him to be able to have a good ticket.
I think that's what I like about Lindor, though, is he's going to get the camera on him no matter what.
And knowing that, lay low. When we disagree, we really disagree. We'll take a short break when we come back. Great to have you back on the program. Welcome back.
Thank you. What's up, BK?
High velo is up right now. So the Brewers especially have flame-throwing rotation brewing. Jacob Mizorowski, I didn't even realize this, 49 pitches at over 100. But not only that, 51 over 102. Hunter Green is second with 12. What are your thoughts on, I know you've talked about this, like, do you need all that velo? Does he and should he be getting all that velo?
Well, he's a freak, guys. I mean, he's combining a lot of factors. He's like 6'7". He's got big legs on him, huge extension. I think he's a very, whippy type of body type. I have a feeling that he's not even really trying to do this. This is just sort of who he's developed into over time. And I wouldn't take it away from him. I don't think he'll be able to do it forever because nobody really can. But right now, it's really impressive to watch. We've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was up to 103 on pitch like 95 the other night. So it's just different, and I got a front row seat to it right now with my popcorn ready.
Yeah, look at it. Top 10 in velo. Let's take a look at it here, because usually when we post that, right, anytime you do it, you can see Tommy John surgery is coming down the pike, right? But there's Mizorowski at 99.6. A few other names pop out. Look, DeGrom, who is back, but DeGrom was a guy who was kind of the poster case for this whole thing. That, hey, man, you can and will blow out throwing this hard. Any thoughts on that, or is that already like thinking from 10 years ago?
No, I mean, look, yeah, anytime you throw this hard, the more you push it, the more you redline it, the more you go to max capacity, the more risky it is, the more likely you are to getting hurt. But I think that's true for a guy who's maxing out at 95 as well as a guy who's maxing out at this speed. Now, I know that there's more forces on you when you get up over 100 miles an hour, of course. I mean, it's a little scary. But at the same time, I do think you can prepare the body to try to mitigate a lot of that and, try to stay out there on the field. I think ultimately, though, you have to find a way to get outs, in other ways too. Dylan Cease has taken that leap this year with Toronto, pitching a little bit more to contact. He's got 7 innings his last 3 starts. That's the real answer for Mizorowski. Like, is he going to be a 5 or 6 inning pitcher for his career with a ton of strikeouts, or is he going to kind of figure out how to pitch along with the velocity, and kind of turn into a 200 inning type of pitcher if possible?
How hard? You made me think now, like breaking the like Chuck Yeager in the sound barrier, right? John Heyman can back me up on that. He was around for that. Right. How hard can a human throw?
I don't know. It's a great question. I think we're pretty close to the edge. I mean, I know we've had a few guys who get over 105, Ben Joyce, Aroldis Chapman. I could imagine 106, 107, and maybe I'm naive, but I think that's probably right about the human limit. Okay. Yeah. Then 10 years from now, we'll go like, what were we thinking? We don't know. Another Milwaukee starter, Kyle Harrison. He's 24 as well. He's got a 2.09 ERA. What's amazing, the Red Sox got him in the Devers deal, and then they traded him right away to the Brewers for Caleb Durbin. This guy's killing it this year. What are you seeing? Yeah, so for one thing, Milwaukee moved him from third base side of the rubber over to the first base side, which gives him a much better angle to his fastball. Now his fastball plays from left to right on your screen when you're watching him from behind, and that helps hide the break in his slurve, which is the main pitch he goes to for strikeouts. So I think that's been the biggest difference. His results on slurve were awful last year, and they've been incredible this year, and they have the same movement. So the only thing I can really equate it to is that it's just holding its line a lot better with that fastball as everything trends from left to right on your screen, heading into righties away from lefties. So sometimes it's an optical illusion, but just moving a guy on the rubber can make a big difference in terms of how those pitches are perceived by the batter. And he's taking advantage of that. That's interesting. Good stuff. Hey, we talked about the White Sox earlier. I know you like Sam Antonacci, your teammate on Team Italy from the WBC. Rookie, 23 years old, 389 on base. What kind of player is he, Adam? I mean, this kid's a ball player, not only offensively but defensively. But the biggest thing is the on-base percentage. He's literally an on-base god. You go back to his college level. I mean, look at that, 523 on base in NCAA. On base, he destroyed it every level of the minor leagues, and now he's setting the table for the White Sox, which is exactly what they need because they have a lot of boppers in the middle of the order. If there's more runners on base, those home runs are multi-run homers. And he's just the perfect antidote to everything else they have, and it gives them a lot of lineup diversity. And I just love the way he comes to play every day, the focus that he brings. He reminds me a lot of McGonigal already. So, to me, we have a couple really good rookies, and let's not forget about this one. That is, again, I said, these kids today, I use that expression a lot. These kids, they're so ready. They're so disciplined. They punch right at the ball. It's such an impressive group. So next week, Adam, how hard can a human throw? That's our homework assignment for next. That's fascinating. We do a whole segment, do a whole hour on that. You want to do it? I'm in on it. There we go. I'm going to look up Bob Feller, Aberdeen Proving Grounds. Looked at like 105 miles an hour. There we go. Thanks, Adam. Great stuff. All right. Thanks, PK. Wow. It's deep thinking. When we come back, baseball he plays. We reward baseball IQ and competitive fire. That's next. Who knows, right? But I'm saying the firepower is that. Now, Cindy says, come on. Why are we debating this? I don't know. The Braves have a better record.
I'm thinking you've gone back-to-back champion. It's hard for you.
That means nothing. Oh, what's your horsepower now? Here's Red Rolfe. He was an all-time great Yankee.
Yes, I remember him well.
Dodgers have the best 1-4 offense, but the Braves have the better overall. That's a good roster that the Braves have. That's what I'm saying.
Braves have a better roster.
It's a good team. They have a better.
That's what it said. Braves have a better overall roster.
It's comparable, maybe not better. It's comparable. All right, baseball he plays. Let's do this. Teoscar Hernandez. Let me ask you this, X, as a former ball player. You're not supposed to stop that far down the line, right? Because you can't go back. Teoscar Hernandez gets caught.
Right. I think he was thinking about trying to get in a rundown, but you don't give the second base, the guy on second, an opportunity to get to third there. Just go. You're already halfway down.
But your run has more value. Your base runner at third has value.
Yes.
Not the guy at first base.
Right. So what I'm saying is he should have just went and make the pitcher throw it home.
Yeah, right. Go. At that point, stopping doesn't help you. Now, after that, here we go. Now, this is rough on him, but he doesn't take a good angle on this. Jung-Hoo Lee is running. This is his home park.
Yeah, he must have thought it was going into the stands, right? There's no other explanation.
I think he also thought it was just foul. The way he stopped was almost like, okay, this thing is going foul.
I think it took a squirrely hop. I don't know. Again, the guy went 3 for 4 in the ball game. But here's a good look. Nah, it just went off top and he got beat. You got to corral it, right? You can't just be following it.
The right angle to it. And I'm sure that's the thing is, guys practice that all the time during batting practices. The angles off left field and right field. And that's why he's disappointed in himself.
All right, I want to go back down to Wednesday. Shohei Ohtani finishing things up. He's got 2 on in the 7th. He's at 104 pitches, and that's with 1 out. Fly ball, but where's Willie Adames? Willie Adames.
Yeah.
Willie, what happened?
Yeah.
Look, see, he's on second base, and he runs. Like there's 2, he's trotting. He thinks there's 2 outs. Thinks there's 2 outs.
Would it be better if he was hustling, running?
Shit. And then he would have been out anyway because he didn't go back around third.
That's a bad job. Now look at the bottom of the screen here. Watch here. This was called out by a bunch of people. He's chatting it up with Mookie Betts. This is also a breach of etiquette, X. Are we okay on that? He's not your friend. I know. You're Willie Adames. Oh, Mookie Betts. Hey, Mookie, what do you think? He keeps turning around. He's not facing the batter. He's not facing the pitcher.
You are really old school. I think you can talk.
Now, Tony Vitale, they asked about it. Hey, Willie didn't know how many outs there were. I don't know if they asked him, like, he wasn't paying attention. He's talking to Mookie. He said, I think the biggest thing is the ball put in play. Got to be trying to win the game as best as possible, no matter who you are or what you said to somebody. I've seen Junior Caminero talk to people on our team and absolutely slit your throat. I don't like that analogy. But anyway, Gunnar Henderson seems to be that type of guy. No, you know what? No, no, you're not like Joel Sherman's big on this. God bless him. Is like you can go to dinner with the guy. Hey, we used to be teammates. Let's get together with the wives. Right. But on the field, I say, hey, nice double. Good job, big guy. No, you're not friends right there.
Well, I think you can still have conversation. And I know you're saying you can't be friends at all. But I think if you're focused and still get to where you need to get to, right, understand how many outs there were, it's a bad look because you didn't know how many outs there were right after that.
Well, then, at that point, it's like you're obviously not locked in.
Right.
You're not locked in.
Yeah. But I don't think that's because he was – I don't think that's necessarily a cause of him not being –
Oh, I disagree. Because he's even turned like this going, hey, well, Mookie, blah, blah. The game's going on back there.
But there's so many times where he's a